Hey there guys, this is Pharaoh2091, and welcome back to Let's Play Virtue's Last Reward. Last time we left off, we solved the escape puzzle to get out of the lab, and we found Axelovir. Axelovir? I keep forgetting the pronunciation of it, but that's the medicine we need to cure Quark of the what is it called? The Radical 6 infection. However, Dio took it from us, and he says, if you want it back, you better vote ally. And if we don't, then he's gonna smash it. So, that is that. We're back in the warehouse and ready to play another AB game.
45 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Sorry, I went ahead and cracked it open a bit early.
Dio. In one of his hands is a moon key. He twirled it around like a veteran gambler, grinned, and slid it back into his pocket.
You don't mind, right? I figured you and Clover would get up here right away. Besides, I thought it'd be best to get this done soon before you lose your nerve. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to the next round.
Ugh. I glanced around the warehouse. Alice and Kay were back. As was Phi. And, of course, Clover. Where's Tenmyoji and the rest of them?
They're in the infirmary.
We carried Quark to one of the beds. Tenmyoji and Luna are looking after him.
I see.
How's he doing? Well, it's hard to say. He seems to be sleeping soundly, but beyond that, there's really no way to know.
No change then, huh?
Right. So what was your room, Sigma?
A laboratory.
Is that so?
Did it look like the kind of place where they'd be researching viruses and DNA and those kinds of things?
Yeah, it did.
Was there any of that Axelovir?
Don't tell those other idiots that you found some Axelovir in here. I hear one word about it, and the next thing you hear will be little bits of glass shattering on the floor.
My eyes flickered at Dio for a moment. No, nothing. Beside me, Clover bit her lip.
I see.
So, how'd it go with you? Find anything interesting? Phi only shook her head. With a unison of movement that almost looked, sorry, my brain is not working today. Choreographed. Alice and Kay shrugged. I don't know. I'm like, I think I'm a little bit tired. I don't know why I did this recording right now. My brain like seriously shut off right there.
Where does that leave us? We still got about 40 minutes left until voting ends.
What are you gonna do?
I'm a little curious about that lab you found. I thought I might go take a peek at it.
I'll show you the way then.
That would be wonderful.
I think I'll go have a look at the room Alice Kay and Tenmyoji found. Never know. Maybe you missed something. Perhaps there's some Axelovir hidden somewhere in there.
God. What a bastard.
Then I shall take you there.
What about you two? Where are you going?
I'll... Well, I think I'll start by heading over to the infirmary to see how Quark's doing.
Then I will too. Glad that's settled.
She nodded to Clover, and it disappeared through the magenta door. Dio and Kay followed a few footsteps behind. Okay then. Guess we should be going too.
Hold on. Show me that journal first.
Dio
told me about it. He wouldn't tell me anything about the lab, except that you found a journal with, his words, some sort of bullshit language. He said you had it, so I was hoping I could take a look.
Yeah. One sec. I dug the journal out of my pocket and handed it to Phi. She began to flip through the pages, her eyes quickly scanning each one.
This is Latin.
Latin? You mean you can read it?
Yeah, with time and a dictionary.
So in other words, no.
Pardon me for not being able to translate a dead language on the fly. This looks like some kind of research log. It's not going to be some sort of, I took the dog for a walk today. It was nice kind of stuff. I can understand a little of it, mostly conjunctions and things like that. But most of these words I've never even seen before.
Fi started to leaf through the book again as she spoke. Then suddenly, she stopped.
Wait. I can read this one. Page 216. This isn't research notes. It looks like a personal entry.
What's it say?
Don't rush me. This is gonna take a minute. Interesting. Alright, I think I got it. It looks like they're talking about Radical 6.
What? Why were they talking about that?
Not sure. Let me read it to you. Keep in mind I'm paraphrasing.
When the body is infected with Radical 6, the processing speed of the brain is reduced. If we assume the brain currently operates at a one-by-one basis with regards to time, Radical 6 reduces this to the square root 1 over 6, or approximately 1 to 0.408. That means that for each second that passes outside, the patient feels that only 0.408 seconds have passed inside. Whoa, that's kind of trippy. Therefore, when 1 second has passed inside, approximately 2.45 seconds or square root of 6 seconds have passed outside. You know, this kind of reminds me of, have you guys seen Dread? That drug they have, slow-mo? I think that's what it kind of reminds me of right here. In other words, when 10 seconds passes in the real world, a patient infected with Radical 6 would feel as if only 4 seconds had passed. This is why the virus has been termed Radical 6. Radical is another term for what is also known as a root operation, the functional inverse of the taking of a power. Oh boy, I haven't studied any of this for a long time. In a less mathematical sense, it can also be used to refer to something that is extreme or severe, like radical, dude! I'm sorry about that. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. The exact cause of this is unclear, and although there is as yet no direct link between suicidal urges and the reduction in mental processing speed, many believe that they are not unrelated. Those infected with Radical 6 perceive the world to be moving at a fever pitch, as if it were a video cassette being fast-forwarded. For instance, although the patient believes that only 10 seconds have passed, in fact 24.5 seconds have passed. Given this increased speed of input, maintaining the ability to observe and reason would become a Herculean task. Oh, so I was getting it wrong. I said I was thinking of the drug slow-mo. It's actually the exact damn opposite. One theory holds that the disparity in time perception causes the brain to be flooded with massive amounts of information. Unable to keep up, it begins to fail. Whatever the cause, the infected invariably attempt to take their own lives, which is arguably the most terrifying aspect of this virus. Research suggests that a targeted antiviral could kill or at least disable Radical 6, but we have been unable to develop one. It seems our best hope now is to harvest antibodies from someone with a natural immunity to the virus. Thus far, however, we have been unable to locate a suitable subject, so I have continued my efforts to discover an alternative means of treatment. Given my current rate of progress, I predict that I will have a workable treatment within a decade or two. It is my fervent hope that humanity will be able to survive that long. The bodies of those dead from suicide are piled up along the roads leading into and out of town. An entire area reeks of the stench of decay, and the sky is filled with a constant buzzing of flies. At times, their swarms are so thick that when one passes it, it feels as if a cloud has gone over the sun. Every day I see more crows, and rats are everywhere, feeding on the dead. Ironically, the only healthy-looking creatures are the stray cats, who have grown fat on a plentiful rodent diet. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters. I don't know how many were saved, but I fear only a handful. Their survival is the only hope that remains for the human race. Oh Lord, please, let their future be a bright one. Whoa, that's a lot of information. Excuse me. And it makes me wonder, if what's in there is true, then are they basically saying that the apocalypse happened and we've been stuck down here? But, I don't know. Will that even make sense? Let's just continue on. I think we'll eventually figure out. Now we know what the virus does to you, though. If you get infected, your brain slows down by a root by 1/6. That's, like, what, about 40%?
That isn't the important part. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide.
Yeah, you're right. That would explain why Quark was, well, trying to kill himself.
There are two other things in here that worry me. First, the part about how they haven't managed to develop a treatment for it yet. What do you make of that?
What am I supposed to make of it? Maybe they just hadn't found one when this journal was written. I mean, from what we know, there's a drug called Excelvior that cures it.
Exactly. But in the journal it says it might take 20 years to make something like that.
Hold on a second. I'm getting confused here. When was this thing even written?
December 29th. No year.
Well, there's no way it was written this year.
Yeah, probably not. Anyway, moving on. The second concern I have is about the underground shelters it mentions. The newspaper article said something about quarantining people, too. After we read it, we all thought the same thing. What if this was one of those quarantine facilities? But this journal seems to suggest the opposite. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters.
You're trying to say that this place might be one of those underground shelters? Which would mean we're all supposed to be uninfected. We would have been thrown in here to keep us safe.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to say for sure at this point, but it seems possible.
But Quark's been infected, right?
And maybe the virus got in somehow.
Well, that would be bad.
Just think about it for a minute. If this is one of those shelters, a lot of things start to make sense. Maybe we've been here for a long time. Like, maybe they put us to sleep somehow. Made us sleep for years, maybe even decades. While we were sleeping, the pandemic that the newspaper article talked about happened. And whoever had this journal made this entry.
And then once the antiviral treatment was finished, they woke us up?
Right. It's all just speculation, but...
No, that doesn't make sense. And I kind of agree. I mean, one, say they were put to sleep for God knows how many years. What about the aging process? I mean, unless you're like in cryo status, like any sci-fi movie, I don't think you're going to be aged during that time, but... Or maybe they were. I don't know. I gotta stop speculating here. I mean, it seems like a pretty plausible scenario, but we were all captured before the pandemic started, right?
Yeah.
And how would they have put us to sleep for that long? How would they have known to do that? But most importantly, why the hell are we playing a notary game if the point of this place is to save us? Throwing a bunch of people into a game that might kill them is a pretty weird way to protect them from a pandemic.
Yeah, you're right.
See?
We don't have enough information to make any real conclusions. I think we should see if we can find anything else.
Fi had barely finished speaking before she took off for the magenta door. Hey, weren't you coming to the infirmary with me?
Changed my mind. You can tell me about Quark later.
And with that, she was gone. Man. I let out a long, tired sigh and started off toward the infirmary. Okay. But yeah, that scenario is it's odd to say the least, but whatever. We'll see what will happen. How's he doing?
He seems to be stable, as far as I can tell.
Still sleeping.
I see. Mind if I have a look?
Please, go ahead.
I made my way around the partition to the side of Quark's bed. The journal and the thing Phi and I talked about would definitely need to be addressed, but for the moment, the AB game was what I needed to concentrate on. Lives were at stake. Mine and Quark's. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. And we saw it firsthand. Yeah. If the journal was telling the truth, then as soon as the anesthetic wore off, Quark would go insane again. What if we weren't able to restrain him a second time? What if he managed to kill himself before we got to him? Or perhaps he'd just get out of the infirmary and go hide somewhere. On the other hand, it wasn't like we could keep anesthetizing him forever. I don't know, I don't think that's the right pronunciation for it. There's only one way to save Quark, and that was with Excelvier. I feel my brain keeps saying Quark, not Quark. I feel like it's kind of similar for me. Unfortunately, Dio had stolen it, because he's an asshole. If we wanted to get it back, Clover and I would have to vote to ally. But if I did, there was an excellent chance I would end up dead. The question was then, what to do? Sacrifice myself to save Quark? Or keep quiet about the danger he was in to save myself? It was so faint I almost didn't hear it.
Grandpa.
He shifted a little, then fell silent again. It was enough, though. What on earth had I been thinking? How could I have even considered letting a child die in my place? Suddenly my cheeks felt hot with embarrassment and disgust. That I had considered letting Quark die, even for a minute, was pathetic. There was only one choice. That is not how you spell choice. Oh my god. Oh, what is wrong with the games I'm playing and the typos within them? There had only ever been one choice. That's how you spell it. No way was I gonna leave Quark to die. My hands tightened to fists as I looked down at him. Any uncertainty I felt before was gone. I knew what I had to do.
Ten minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Looks like it's almost time. You two should head back.
What about you?
Not going. I'm worried about Quark.
But you're a solo. If you don't vote...
I'll automatically ally. I know. I heard the voice on the intercom just like you.
What are you gonna do if Kay and Alice will betray?
Nothing, I suppose. Just means I lost that round. I'd just be voting ally anyway. You know who my opponents are, right? Alice only has one BP left. If I pick betray and they chose ally, I'd kill her. I'm not so desperate to escape that I'm gonna kill someone for it. And even if I was, I can't leave Quark behind. You see? Doesn't matter if I go into the AV room or not. My vote's the same either way.
Temioji's mind was made up. Trying to persuade him to leave would have been pointless. Alright. Take care of Quark.
Of course. You worry about yourself.
Let's go.
Okay.
Luna and I headed out of the infirmary, leaving Tenmyoji and Quark behind. See, I was getting worried too, because I'm like, wait a minute. And I was like, isn't Quark solo? And I'm like, if he doesn't vote, what happens? I was getting confused. I'm like, wait a minute, does it get penalized automatically, or does something else happen? And I forgot. Yeah, like Tenmyoji said, you automatically ally if you don't put in a vote. When we got to the warehouse, we found everyone else waiting for us. Well, not quite everyone. One other person was missing. Hey, where's Dio?
Take a look at the doors.
They're all closed. When we came in here before, the one on the far right was open.
And that would mean...
That he went in, I guess?
Exactly.
That bastard. He probably been worried I might try and take the Excelsior from him by force, so he hid himself in the AB room. What a coward. I made up my mind to choose Ally, no matter what, but part of me had still considered trying to jump Dio if he had dropped his guard. Now that he made sure I wouldn't get the chance to try.
Where's Tenmyoji?
Oh,
Luna explained Tenmyoji's choice.
I see. Well, I guess that means I don't have to worry about him picking Betray.
right. What will you guys be choosing then?
Ally, of course.
Because my BP is 6, I assume.
Yes. As long as Tenmyoji votes Ally, I can't choose Betray. If I do, K's BP will go up to 9.
But what if he forces you?
Ha ha ha. You needn't worry. I would never do something so crass.
Really?
Of course.
Then you don't need to go in there.
Excuse me?
Alice can vote by herself. Then we don't have anything to worry about, right?
Well, I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't agree to that.
Why not?
I just can't. Shall we go, Alice?
Hey, hold on a minute there!
Kate continued briskly toward the AB room as if he simply hadn't heard Phi. Alice scrambled to follow him, perhaps concerned that he would lock her out. Only seconds later, they disappeared into the third room from the left.
I hope Alice is going to be okay.
Well, there's nothing we can do now. If Kay told the truth, she'll be fine.
5 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Time's almost up. Come on, Luna.
Right.
They headed off at a trot toward the second room from the right, and were soon out of sight inside of it. All right, Clover. Time for us to go.
Oh, okay. Right behind you.
I sighed to myself and headed toward the leftmost AB room. Alright, well, as it says in the bottom right here, the game's gonna start as soon as I press start, so, guess that's what I'm doing.
What are you gonna do?
I don't really have a choice, do I? There's only one thing I can do. I'm gonna choose Ally.
You can't! You'll die!
Well, you never know. Just because Dio told us Ally doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna pick Betray.
Do you really think a jerk like that is going to choose Ally if he doesn't have to? No. No way! He's got 6 BP right now. If he picks Betray, then he'll have 9 points!
Well, what about you?
Huh?
You got 6 BP too, right? If Dio chose Ally and we chose Betray, we chose Betray, and we have 9, then you would have 9 BP.
What? No, that's not... I didn't even realize that until you brought it up. I'm just trying to tell you that Dio is going to pick Betray. That's who he is.
And I'm trying to tell you that I've made up my mind. That's who I am. The only choice is Ally. It's the only chance we have to get that medicine back.
That's why Dio called you an IG. What makes you think he's going to give us the Excelivir, even if you do what he says?
Maybe he won't, but I can guarantee that he'll destroy it if I pick Betray. That's who he is.
Fine. If you aren't gonna listen to me, then I guess I don't have a choice. I'll be pushing that button.
Huh? Before I realized what was going on, Clover ducked past me and ran toward the voting machine. No! I gotta stop the episode right here because it's the perfect time to do so. At least I think so it is. So, next episode, what's gonna happen? Is she gonna choose Betray? Am I gonna get to the machine first? Find out next time. So, as usual, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Virtue's Last Reward. I'll see you guys later.